Hi everybody, Wolf Corner here, in which I am doing a new segment on my channel, in which right now it's 11:13 a.m. and what this new segment is for my channel will be called the Godzilla Hour, in which every Thursday I'll be talking a lot of stuff about Godzilla, not for the whole hour, but at the very least whatever I either have any news that I've just found out about, or anything that maybe be related to Godzilla that I've known for many years and whatnot, and just anything in general of the subject and matter. So with anything, as you can see, that I've already got my Hug Me Godzilla stuffy that I got over at FYE. That so far, from what I know, two announcements, in which the first one on May 20th of this month, that Zilla from the Godzilla movie of 1998 has just turned 20, in which I've seen on one of the aminos that I'm on that apparently a movie theater had showing of it, either a movie theater or at the very least a public place where they screened it. And also, too, I think I remember seeing something over at the movie theater that I usually go to, but I think it was like something entirely different. I'm not entirely sure, because I think it was like last year or whatever. Anyway, I'm very happy that that finally turned 20. I mean, even though a lot of people don't like that movie because it's so far from the original Godzilla, which technically that is the point of it. And also, it's getting closer and closer to the debut of the second part of the trilogy for the Godzilla anime movie, which is on Netflix. If any of you guys do have Netflix, I suggest you go watch the first part, it's really good. I love the Godzilla in it, especially that in what comes towards the end of the first part, in which, no spoilers, but it's like very awesome for this Godzilla. And it's kind of interesting how everybody's living now, because it kind of, like I said many times before in my other videos, that it answers a what if question, which a lot of people sometimes me would think of anyway. So yeah, so for that type of stuff, and anything, I would like to share one of my just on a last note, not because I really want to make this video too long or too short, just that I do have to get to bed soon, and this is just the very first episode, and I promise to do at least a little bit more videos where I actually plan out everything. This is just the very first, as I said before. My favorite video, going on from that, my favorite video from all time for Godzilla is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, in which what this is going on in this movie is that this is after their last time facing up with Godzilla, and this is after Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, because in the first few parts of the movie that you see the remains of the carcass of when Mecha King Ghidorah battled Godzilla and died with him, in which, because of the technology that Mecha King Ghidorah was made from, they copied it and made the whole new Mecha Godzilla, which would be, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the very first one that humans have made. Because the last one being made by space beings from I can't remember exactly. I think it was something with a black hole or whatever. My some of my knowledge is a little bit fuzzy, so apologies in advance. Anyway, that they go out and they're also studying Godzilla and whatnot, in which where they're at later on after they are finished with the Mechagodzilla, that they go to an island in which I guess he's living at, in which then they find, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2 eggs, in which they take one of them. Then later on, in a lab where there's also stuff of a photographer and whatnot, that he just starts taking pictures, trying to get the big story of what's going on and whatnot. In which then he finds out that there's like energy glowing from it and whatnot. Later on, that there's this particular sound that gets emitted through this player thing that they have, which ends up being a certain resonance that the egg needed to hatch, which I guess is from Godzilla or whatever, in which the baby hatches into I'm not entirely sure. Well, technically they call it a Godzilla, which they also named Baby in this movie, in which by far the only ones that it's the only Baby Godzilla that I've ever really liked. I really don't like Minya, and I really don't like the one for Godzilla versus the Sea Monster because I don't know, just it looks like it's like high on drugs for that one. Technically, if you follow one of the theories, it basically that he's actually what becomes of that one afterwards. So anyway, after the egg hatches, stuff goes on. Like Godzilla actually does come to Tokyo, doing his thing by destroying buildings because he's trying to find his baby. Mechagodzilla gets used. Then he gets destroyed a little bit. Things happen. Trying to understand this new creature that they just discovered. Let's see. Also, too, that like one of the I can't remember if it was one of the scientists or at the very least engineers. That was in the beginning of the movie that there's like this one plane called Garuda, which is just a regular plane with like two like maser beam things on it, in which the guy who's inside of it is actually the creator of the machine, which then later on he finally gets promoted back to what he used to be, because he was like at the beginning of the movie he was like some kind of like demoted person. I can't remember exactly what his position was. Anyway, that he then creates this one flying creature robot they called I think it was Pteranodon or whatever it is. As I said before, I'm sorry for that if I'm incorrect to that part. Anyway, that they fly around in it and then they crash. Then like early before that, one of the girl in charge of the Godzilla goes to this school of the gifted kids, in which they have like the psychokinetic abilities, in which basically they later on figure out a whole bunch of stuff for them, in which they also do the song that resonates with Godzilla and Godzilla in general, in which then he starts going a little bit AWOL because of what was actually listened by him. Another time with the Mechagodzilla, and then towards like that, and also Rodan now is also on the scene, in which I would actually have to say is like my favorite Rodan out of all of them. But I think he's only like in his own movie, and then I think like a few times he actually appears in other Godzilla movies. But this is the one where he actually he's got a big part in it. Stuff happens. They end up using Godzilla as a bait to lure Godzilla in order to finish him off. Because one of the things that they find out is that within his, as you can see on my stuffy, it's like somewhere towards this part right here of his body, in which there's like a second brain, in which basically I guess is like his motor skills part, or at the very least like something more important than what he has up here, considering it's supposed to be smaller down here but a lot bigger down there. And that they're trying to attack it, in which what ends up happening, they end up doing successfully, with also the help of now the attachment that was figured out by the creator of Garuda, that it could actually attach to Mechagodzilla, which is the reason why I also like this movie so much, because technically this is the only time that Kairu has attachments, but this is the actual time that basically almost kind of like a Megazord type thing, actually combines with something else in order to make a whole new robot, which is Super Mechagodzilla, which is really cool because like you got like his like the rainbow laser beam breath. You got the cannon buster thing on his belly, and then you got the two lasers from Garuda, and then you can also fly and everything. Which you could fly early before, but at least you get the extra boost from the Garuda. And it's just so cool, especially with the fight and everything. Like Rodan dies after a while, and then Godzilla finally ends up succumbing to them after they destroy his second brain. Rodan flies in and ends up healing up Godzilla, which technically that's also a really cool part too, in which he ends up getting this like a I can't remember exactly what they called it, but it's like a fire, like red fire breath type thing. It's like really cool because it's all like a like darkish red color and whatnot. It's like I mean it's awesome. Which then afterwards, Godzilla ends up winning because of, since now you get the power of fire Rodan and himself, which also too that the brain that was destroyed now is repaired, in which then, just the whole thing towards the end, that basically the whole reason why he was rampaging in the first place is just because he wanted his baby back, in which then he does end up getting it at the end and whatnot, so at least it wasn't just that he was pissed at, humans or anything like a majority of the other times he ever attacks Tokyo. It's just that he was trying to find his kid. And it was just only because, of certain people and their curiosity of a certain creature that they really don't have much of knowledge of that, they paid the price for it. But anyway, that's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. That's my favorite movie out of all of them that they've made so far. Legendary's doing a pretty good job, even though a lot of people don't really think so. And I can't wait for the next movie that's supposed to be coming out next year. And also the remake of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, not Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. King Kong in 2020. So, yeah, so thank you guys all for watching my video. I promise to, like I said before, do a lot better with this video on this day, and to inform you of all things Godzilla. And also, too, on a last note, I would like to say that coming in July in Chicago, and I can't remember exactly the place it is, G-Fest is supposed to be coming out, in which I would really like to go, but unfortunately, I'm going to be very busy during that time of the year because of my work, which is going to be pure hell. And that, that, and also too, I think you need to get tickets, and if anything by now, that I would think that they would be all gone by now, so. I mean, it would be nice just to see all the new stuff, all the new figures, all the exclusive figures that, only come from there. And that, it's just the whole entire, place where you can cosplay, you can buy merch, you can learn about new stuff, just a whole bunch of fun and whatnot. So anyway, thank you guys all for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe. And make sure you hit that bell in order to get new notifications for my channel and to be alerted by anything that I have done now in the present, and also what I will be doing in the future. Like, comment, subscribe. I already said subscribe, but still. Comment on how you thought this video did, how I did. Any comments that you might want to see, like maybe anything of Godzilla or any questions on Godzilla that you might want to comment about. And also too, if you want to have certain other videos for any of the other days that I haven't done yet, I'd like to hear some suggestions. And that like this video if you did. I'll be very grateful if you have done so. And with everything, thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys all later. Bye.